Mohammed Yunus joining us live. Tom, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today. What do you make of this first move that Mohammed Yunus has taken after taking charge as the incumbent government's Prime Minister?
Well, one thing I will not comment on is the status of the politics in Bangladesh. This is not me to decide. I'm not a political expert. But surely there has been a lot of battling between the then Prime Minister Hasina and Mohammed Yunus. They are two different kinds of people who has two different kinds of politics.
Do you believe it's no surprise then that Mohammed Yunus has taken this step to actually absolve himself of the corruption charges? The first move he's taken?
Well, that's not up to me to talk about. There must be authorities in Bangladesh who can deal with that. I'm a journalist based in Denmark. I'm not sitting in Bangladesh currently.
But would that shock you, or is it unsurprising?
Well, look around in the world. When somebody gets into power, a lot of court cases will fall. Let's look at the US.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the cases then, Tom. You've done a lot of investigation in this particular matter, and you're very seized of the details, the nitty-gritties of the case. How serious were those charges against Mohammed Yunus? And just tell us, what were the reasons that he was indicted in the first place?
I don't know about the last thing, but I can tell you what we found during our investigation was a lot of secret, confidentially made files in the Norwegian Foreign Ministry's aid wing called NORAD. We obtained a lot of documents there where the Norwegian embassy in Bangladesh issued a really harsh warning to Mohammed Yunus and Grameen Bank to retransfer some money that has been transferred from the Grameen Bank into another company, trust I think it was, called Grameen Kalyan. The embassy said, you cannot do that. You have to transfer the money back because these aid money were given to Grameen Bank, not to another company. And then there was a lot of discussion, and we could see in the documents that Mr. Yunus wrote to the then director of NORAD that this particular letter from the embassy, should that go public in Bangladesh, they would face real problems in Bangladesh. This is a quote from the letter that Yunus sent to the Norwegian authorities. And we thought that these information were really, really important to our documents, to our documentary. So we, of course, published these documents. So from there, a lot of fussling started, but it ended that the Norwegian government sort of the Norwegian government said that there has been no wrongdoing. That can only be judged by them. And I totally disagree.
Absolutely. But of course, as far as also, the poor in Bangladesh, do you believe, there were serious charges of money meant for them getting siphoned off as well, allegedly by Mohammed Yunus and his affiliates?
This I cannot say much about. I'm not into these details, but one thing I can say that is we traveled extensively in the rural area of Bangladesh and met with a lot of loan takers, both from Grameen but also from numerous microcredit institutions, because they all had 5, 6, 7, 8 loans. And we asked them kindly, madam, why do you have 7 loans? Because I have to take a new loan to pay the old loan back. So they were sitting in a web of a spider's web of losing money on a daily basis. And every week the installment officers came, and there were many stories on harassments and taking off the tin shed plates of their roofing to sell them on the market for petty cash, to sort of send out a warning to all the other loan takers that you have to pay your installment. And that was, to me, it was a terrible story to tell, because at that time, Muhammad Yunus was seen as the alleviator of poverty. And then after my film, and during the film, and after the film, numerous academics all over the world has basically said microcredit doesn't work. Basic, end of story. And I met a professor in Bangladesh at that time who said what he succeeded in, Mr. Yunus, he succeeded connecting the poor to the market. And that was his opinion.
Do you believe that there are question marks then over the functioning of Grameen Bank, according to you, and its real impact on alleviating poverty?
Yes, there is. Certainly, there is a lot of good questions to be asked. One thing, though, is that we tried in vain for weeks and weeks and weeks to get a comment or an interview with Muhammad Yunus. We traveled several places in Europe where he was supposed to come to a talk or speech or receiving an award, but he just, I managed to give him my business card, but he just turned the back on me and went away. And then his PR people and spin doctors or whatever, they promised me that I would get answers to all my questions. I never got one, except that they keep on saying that my film was biased and I was wrong and all my allegations were wrong. So I'm just asking, if I did anything wrong, don't you think they would sue me for that?
Yes, but you weren't sued, of course, and you didn't get answers to your questions, as you said earlier, either. But, you know, there has been a backing of Muhammad Yunus by the US as well. And interestingly, you know, one individual who stands out is Hillary Clinton, former US Democratic presidential candidate and wife of the former US President Bill Clinton. What do you make of the US's steadfast backing for him and also Hillary Clinton's?
Well, there's a clip in the film which is hilarious in a way. Hillary Clinton and her daughter Chelsea visits a rural area in a town, very rural, small town, to see how fantastic this microcredit worked. But according to a U.S. scientist, Jude Fernando, he was there also, and he found out that these women were taken into this town in buses with their finest saris on, to give the impression that everything is everywhere all happy. So Yunus and Mrs. Clinton has a very close relationship, and Hillary was also part of the some of the big grants given by the world societies into Grameen Bank. According to Jonathan Murdoch, a professor at New York University, it mounted up to in grants, not loans, in grants up to $175 million US. And these money were given unconditionally to Grameen Bank to set up this loan scheme where poor people could loan money. And another professor, economist in Bangladesh, he calculated that the interest rate, average interest rate from a Grameen Bank account to the poor people was between 27 and 31%. So imagine you getting $175 million US and re-lend them out to 27 to 30%. That's a good business, but I'm not sure it's so good for the poor people.
Absolutely. You know, as far as, of course, the US is concerned, do you also believe that it's highly suspicious now that Muhammad Yunus has come to power at a time when the US also is being indirectly accused of toppling Sheikh Hasina's administration as well? Now, whether that's correct or not, you or I cannot comment or know. That's something that investigation, of course, will be able to establish. But do you believe that these are dots that perhaps are being connected? You know, the US allegedly not happy with Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina allegedly, accusing them of wanting her to hand over the Saint Martin Island to them. Suddenly Sheikh Hasina goes and Muhammad Yunus comes to power.
I think it's purely speculations. And as I said initially, I don't want to comment on the current political issues and the situation. both
But do you believe that Mohammed
One thing,
Yunus?
though,
Do you believe
one
that
thing
Yunus?
I like to emphasize.
Do you believe Yunus is close to the U.S.?
You believe what?
Mohammed Yunus is close to the United States of America?
He has always been.
Okay.
So that's not news. He was educated over there. But again, I don't want to speculate in these questions and suspicions.
Yes.
What I care about is the poor people of Bangladesh. And I gave them a voice with my film. I could have had maybe higher hopes that the whole microcredit industry, not only Grameen Bank or Yunus, but the whole industry would take a deeper look into themselves and don't think about making money instead of, sucking out the poor people's money.
But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. You're disappointed.
No, that's a traditional journalistic thing. You win some, but you lose some.
Okay. Tom Heinemann, thank you very much for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.